Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kim and today we are talking beans. But first I'm going to start out with what varieties I'm growing in the garden this year. So I have 4 varieties of beans that I'm growing in the garden. 2 varieties. Well, the first variety is called a purple king bean. Which is this one. This is my 3rd year growing this one. It does really well here and I actually really like the flavour of this one as well. When you break these guys in half, the inside is green. This one is not as green as they can be, but the outside is purple. Now when you boil these, they unfortunately do not stay purple. On your dinner plate they turn it to a green. So that is the purple king bean. That is a reasonably big sized bean, this one. This is quite a mature pod, so the peas are starting to mature in it. Excuse me, taste testing here today. The next variety, which is, I did try these ones last year, so this is my 2nd year growing these ones, is the purple queen bean. So the main difference between the king and the queen is that the king is a bigger bean at its end result than the queen. So it's a bit of a fatter bean, bigger seeds in it. These will probably get really big as well if you let them grow past their premium size, especially if you want to do some seed saving. But these are the same again, green on the inside, purple on the outside. They are a more tender bean than the king bean, but the flavour is exactly the same. The other difference between the purple queen bean and the purple king bean is the king bean is a climbing vine, so it's the one that you'll see climbing up the outsides of the trellis work that I have, and the queen bean is a bush bean, so it's a bush that grows about 40 to 50 centimeters tall. I'm actually probably looking more towards the bush beans. I'm finding that even though last year a lot of my bush beans didn't do really well, and I think that was a lot to do with the placement I had them, this year they're in a different place where they're not getting the full brunt of the sun all day long. So they are, I think, a lot better in the fact that they're not getting the full sun. So the other 2 varieties I have growing in my garden is a standard green bean. This is just a standard green bean, again green on the inside. This has a very strong bean flavour. It's probably not my favourite at all, but I think once these ones are cooked, they will be a lot nicer bean. I do prefer my beans cooked, but I will eat them raw as well. But this one I would probably generally tend to keep this one as a cooked bean, whereas the purple beans I would be happy to eat them raw. The 4th variety is this one. This is the 1st year growing it. It is a yellow bean. And this is the 1st year I've had this. I haven't actually tasted this bean yet, even though I have been harvesting off it. So yeah, it is yellow right the way through. It's a very tough, fibrous bean. Like, I'm really having to chew onto it. So I don't know whether that is because it's an older bean or a younger bean. But I'm going to try these out cooked and see if I like them better cooked or not. That is the 4 varieties of beans that I've got growing in the garden. So now I'm going to quickly talk to you guys about when you can harvest your beans and when they're ready to be harvested. So ideally you can harvest them as soon as they turn into a bean. It is still a bean, it is just a younger bean. They are that is tender. That was the yellow bean. That was a lot tender than the bigger bean that I just ate, and it tastes exactly the same. So if you want to go and have a small bean, you can start picking off them right from the time they actually start producing beans. So any size bean that you want to start growing these guys at, you can harvest them. Have them as little baby beans, have them as bigger beans. It just depends on where you like the flavour and the tenderness of the beans. Yeah, so as these beans start to get bigger, they get a little bit firmer and a little bit more chewy. So it's just when you want to harvest them, you want to put them on your plate, you want to put them in the freezer, you want to do however you want to preserve them, you pick them at whatever size you want to do it. There is no reason for you not to harvest them right from when they're little tiny babies right up until they're really big beans. But I have some that I have missed on my other harvests here. This is the queen bean, the purple queen bean, this one, and this one is the king bean. And you can see that they are pretty much the same bean, only one gets that little bit thicker than the other one. So these guys are going to be super chewy. These are going to have really big beans in them. So if you're not someone who likes to have the bean inside your beans, you need to harvest them way before they get to this stage. So the green bean, this has also gotten way out of hand. This is probably the only one this size that I've missed. Again, it has this is really hard to do when you can't use your hand properly, so bear with me today. So again, it has the beans in them. So if you don't want the beans in them, I don't mind either way. Harvested them when they are more this size. So this size, I know, this is a camera. This size is like about the width of my palm of my hand sort of thing, is about where I generally harvest my beans. So they are starting to get some beans in them, but nowhere near as big as if they would if I left them for a little bit longer. Now, just a quick side note here, if you guys want to save seeds off your bean plants, all you need to do is leave these on your bean plants and let your bean plants keep growing, die out, the pods dry out, and then the seeds inside of them, you break them open, get the seeds out, put them somewhere to dry out a little bit longer inside, and they are your beans for next year. Seed saving with this kind of vegetable is super easy. So guys, get out in the garden and get your bean seeds in. I'm going to try and get some more in this season myself. I'm probably going to do it up in the garden bed up the top there, and see if I can actually grow them throughout the summer season here. I know last year I did have a lot of problems with the heat and it was really hot, and we are getting really hot here right now. Sorry, my horse is doing some weird stuff down there. Don't worry about him. So I am going to try and see if I can grow some more up the top there, and just see how they go, because the climbing beans, they continue to grow and you get more and more off of it, whereas the bush beans, they will get to a point where they only grow so many beans because they don't continue to grow higher, so you're only going to get so many beans off it. So those are the ones that I'm going to try and get up in the top garden here and see how they go through the heat of the summer here. Alright guys, so that is it down here today. Get out, harvest your beans. Don't forget to check out the videos here. I'll stick up some links on there. Anything, check out the description as well. There'll be some more links down there to different videos that I think might be useful. Otherwise, check out the playlist, hit the subscribe button, thumbs up, and leave me a comment and let me know what kind of videos you want me to make in the coming months of summer here in Western Australia. Till next time guys, happy gardening.